everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Economy of Nothing. I'm your host, Mr. Green, and this is our show. I'm followed with the captain. We like to just give you a rundown of the topics before we actually get into the episode of the show. But on this week's whole...
We haven't done that in weeks.
We haven't done that in weeks, but you know what? We're bringing it back.
Months,
weeks, years, distant future. Who knows?
Remember when we were in a studio?
Yeah, I do. We've evolved quicker than any industry that's ever been made up since the history of mankind.
This is the most of anything that's been done in the last 10 years.
I truly do believe that. We're all so bored. We're all just craving for content. But on this week's episode, we're going to talk about Iran war again, Epstein stuff, because don't forget about that. And now, all of a sudden, CEOs are coming out the woodwork blaming AI for job loss. In quotations. Martin Scorsese, your favorite director of movies such as Goodfellas and Casino, does an AI partnership and sells out again for the second time, which we'll like to talk about. Also, Steven Spielberg is part of the propaganda machine in the USA now with Disclosure Day. We'll talk about it. Last but not least, we're going to get a couple of those bits in that you like of Mr. Green, your favorite character, to all the listeners out there, and to answer...
Green, what are you doing? We're just like on our way driving. Like, are you doing a radio show?
Listen, Captain, I have a lot of hobbies on the
talking.
side.
I didn't.
I'll be honest with you. I thought you were asleep this whole time. I've kind of just been rambling to myself. I like to daydream.
I feel like you're never paying attention.
Like, I know, which is crazy. I'm the pilot.
Like the real part, Greedy. Like it felt like you were reading that, but you're like there's a lot of traffic around, and I just feel like
I saw that.
Eyes front, hands 10 and 2. Let's
You know what they say about piloting? It's mostly all autopilot, and to be honest with you, there's a ton of space out here. These guys don't have to be this close to us, but, what do I know in the distant future?
Well, as you know, everyone's attempting to keep it between the navigational beacons here, Granny. Right?
Oh, you're right. So, that reminds me. We need to hit a Margaritaville later today after we drop off the mystery box. You've been saying we go to Margaritaville. You keep saying it. I'm dreaming about it.
No. Okay, Green. Gritty, take your head pills. There haven't been any Margaritavilles for thousands of years, okay? Your dream, is that we can do enough jobs here for the Nothing Corporation that one day you'll be able to open your own Margaritaville. And Greenie, I'll be there on it. I'll be looking at you right behind the bar and being like, sir, make me up a margarita. At which point I assume you'll come to me and be like, oh, it's really annoying when they ask for frozen drinks.
For all the bartenders in the audience, I know that's probably true.
So you're clear, everyone, asking for a frozen drink is kind of a dick move. I don't know.
It's a dick move, but they're so delicious.
Like some places, some places they just have it on tap, the smoothie on tap.
But nobody, I don't want that one. I want the one that requires a lot more manual effort.
I know. You're just like, I want to taste the sweat.
Yeah, like that premix. I don't care if that premix is loaded with alcohol. Like it could be stronger than any drink you make with your hands. There's something about it when I know that it's straight from the tap of watered down liquor that's been filled back up at these resorts.
Greenie, it makes me happy to know that you're gonna have I'll be able to go and get an authentic Margaritaville experience. I think we have two problems about getting to our Margaritaville experience, which is A, we're not making any money.
That might be the biggest problem, to be honest with you.
Because no one is going to patreon.com/economy of nothing and giving us a bunch of money. The other problem is we're not getting paid for delivering these mystery boxes because it feels like weeks since we've successfully delivered a mystery box, if we've ever successfully delivered a mystery box, and it seems like this should be an easier task. I feel like we keep getting distracted and sidetracked from the mission here. Grady.
Yeah, the SS Moonshine should really be called the SS JJ Abrams.
That's called the Moonshine, Grady. I guess there is something thematic. Oh my God, are we about to ruin the podcast by actually delivering JJ Abrams mystery box?
I think that is the podcast. Is us just trying to deliver a mystery box that no one wants.
Oh no! Not to break the fourth wall, everyone, but whew, if you, in the economy of nothing Patreon bit, we talked about. Well, we're going to deliver the mystery box this week, but maybe we shouldn't deliver.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Maybe. Oh my goodness! Keep listening. Maybe something incredible.
Who knows what happens to our heroes? Do they deliver the mystery box?
Granny, calm down. I think is that our exit over there? I think I didn't.
Oh yes, it is. Thank goodness. You know, I was afraid we weren't going to get to deliver this JJ Abrams mystery box. So here's the exit. Taking it now, Captain.
Granny, I feel like you would have been happy to just be hitting this hyperspace loop forever on the Cosmic Causeway here, but I think that what people want is to watch people get a job done, and I think we're the two guys to do it.
You know,
make sure you signal properly. But let's merge on over and get on out of here.
You know, Captain, that's a great idea. And speaking of mergers, let's talk about a little thing that happened in the distant past that I remember as the SpaceX IPO.
Brainy, that was crazy. I said mergers like 10 minutes ago. We did a whole landing sequence. We're not like out of the truck. We've just been quiet for like 10 minutes. And you're like, here's your segue? All right. No, it was a good segue. You just should have said it sooner.
Listen. I've been meaning to tell you this. Those pills you've been making me take have been causing some sort of amnesia. I keep blacking out in the strangest places is where I wake up. Usually on distant planets. Sometimes I think I'm in a Margaritaville, but I'm not.
Maybe we should get you to a doctor.
What do you mean? Am I...
What
are you saying?
Mergers. Speaking of mergers.
Okay, anyway, the SpaceX IPO that happened in the distant past. You know, Captain, I just want to talk about this, and I want to do it in character, but also keep it... I'm going to speak as if I was, like, living through it right then and there. You know I like to get in these character bits, all right? So don't question
so many guys just like you several years before this happened.
And I knew so many guys like you that would just stay quiet and let me talk about what I need to talk about to get my point across. Thank you, Captain. I knew that you were that type of guy. Anyways, so I figured it out. I figured it out what actually happened back then, because everyone remembers they tell you one thing, and this is what actually happens. So SpaceX IPO, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be the largest IPO of all time. With a TAM, which is total addressable market of like 90, I don't know, 100 times, I think it was like 128 trillion or something, some ridiculous number, but it was basically saying the whole universe is the total addressable market, and that their side businesses would include merging Tesla, the electric car company with it, XAI, which is the chatbot funny thing that nobody uses, and then SpaceX, which is the company that put all the satellites around the atmosphere that's like giving people internet. But basically what they're finding is the revenues only equate up to $5 billion, but it's being valued at 100 times its revenue. So it's basically, its revenue is ranked 200th with that of like Kellogg's cereal. So selling cereal is just as profitable as putting satellites in space as of right now. And the one thing that they did do right is they're not cramming this IPO into the S&P 500 for at least a year, so you're safe there, but they're going to put in all the other indices, and they're basically, the NASDAQ changed its rules so that it can include a meme stop based on the amount of supply it wants to get to retail. Now it's being pitched as that, oh, this is for you, this is retail, but it's also going in at a valuation of like 1.8 trillion, which I think that's when it made Elon Musk the most richest man in the world. But this is assuming that it all went well. I think I figured it out. I figured out two things. Either either all fundamentals of all trading went out that day, where it no longer mattered what the fundamentals of the business did. It was just the stories that it produced because it's an attention-based. It became an attention-based economy. Or I think the market makers are about to rug pull Elon Musk. And here's my evidence for that, right? So normally in a situation like this, why would I know about this information? They want me to know about this information.
Can I say something real quick? I have to say something real quick. It's killing me. And Granny, you're doing a great job. But the only thing I can think of is I remember, like, I don't know what you're talking about, crazy, even future of my time. But I remember when people were convinced that Tesla, one of Elon Musk's other companies, was the most profitable car manufacturer while not profiting from manufacturing the most cars. So this seems in line with what I remember before I left. But
absolutely, yeah, I call him a manufacturer of ideas, of dreams, of much like our mystery box.
Bullshit.
We don't know what's inside of it, but you just keep moving you keep passing the buck along.
Granny, you're not jostling that box too much, are you?
No, it's fine. I got it taped down. It's fine. Don't worry about the box, Captain. Worry about the story. Anyway,
are you sure you're not just holding it in your right hand?
It's taped to my right hand. You can't see the tape. Anyways, so what I was saying is that I'm thinking to myself, it's either a story-driven market, and that's the new fundamentals, is the story it produces because it's an attention-based economy, or my thought is because they've made it all well known for everybody out there when they say retail, like on all of our devices, like they are posting it everywhere. Like Morningstar is all like and everyone's like, it's overvalued, don't do it, blah, 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 right? What if Elon is distracted right now? Because the other thing you see is that Elon is in court every other day. And like, I know everybody has this complex about him, like, oh, he's the smartest guy. I was like, I don't believe that. I think he's just a grifter. He's a grifter that's successfully pulling grifts on dumb people. And if you're one of those grifters, I'm sorry. You need to wake up. This guy's not going to do anything for you. He's stealing your money. He's stealing every last bit of money. But I also don't think it's him stealing your money. I think it's the market makers going to steal the money from him. I think he thinks this is in the bag, but he's distracted with all the court hearings about AI, everything. Because the one thing I know for certain is he pissed off a bunch of people, and he made a lot of people look dumb, and he made a lot of enemies. And he left that whole situation not on good terms. So why all of us, like, either they're just teeing him up to be like, all right, yeah, you win capitalism, which why would, these guys are so, like, they're so egotistical, they don't want that. So this is something, I don't know what it is. Is this how Tesla finally falls? Is this how SpaceX, is this how we get Elon back down to planet Earth?
Granny, it's interesting.
It's an interesting concept, I think.
One might say it's a Fagazia, whatever, is all of the things that they're talking about bringing together once this happens are things that were previously broken apart from each other, right? Every single one, like XAI and this and that, like they all started as things that were incubated in one of these companies and spun off into something else. And like, so now the problem is I've been trying to work my way around it, and I guess I have to keep saying it publicly, or at least outside on this cowboy planet, is there's something being lost in the numbers. And I don't know really how to describe it other than to think about like science and talk about like units, right?
Yeah.
Where like meters per second, right? You know what I mean? Like, and there's this problem where like, oh, well, I have this money and I multiplied it by some money and divided it by money and now it's money. And I'm like, well, no, this has to be like dollars over Bitcoin or something. Like, the problem is that they're trying to act like all of the money is valued equally the same way while they're evaluating it differently, which doesn't make any sense. So let me try and say that one more time, right? and I'm going to take it to Bitcoin just because Bitcoin, NFTs, whatever you want to talk about, the crypto is like the best version of explaining how they're trying to do this. Is like someone can't have. What's Bitcoin right now? It's 60,000.
Yeah, so that
someone can have a Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin can be worth $60 million in a conversion, right? But someone can't hold 1 million Bitcoins and say that's worth $60 million because too much of the market is them holding the Bitcoin. So like there's no way for someone to like the problem with all these IPOs being so high, it's like, well, who are you going to sell it to? Yourselves?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I think the reason I think that this could be the market makers, right? Just based on where we're at with currency and like how they're trying to save it. To me, it seems like this is a way that you you can force correction from a meme stock, because like meme stocks have become an investing style. It's how people on Reddit and Robinhood, GameStop, and AMC, right? I think they're still pissed off about that.
Tesla
I think
is a meme stock.
Listen,
Tesla's a meme
it's
stock.
a meme stock, but like they can't bring it down, right? So I think that knowing that the internet is like at least 30% bots in general, I think that meme stock investing has been infiltrated and taken over by the market makers, and I think it's the switcheroo, because I think these guys like they realize that they can't get it from retail, because I think retail's actually become a little bit smarter than the average bear, but I think they can get it from tricking Elon thinking that retail's into his stock.
I mean, you talked about Elon Musk, like, the revenue on this bullshit, and like, I mean, most of that revenue is government subsidies and shit.
That's what I mean.
Is what the vast majority of it is. And the government doesn't have any money.
Yeah, but let me just say this. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, this is even like the biggest investors of all time are coming out and say, I'm talking like the guy who called The Big Short, Steve Eisman, the guy who plays Steve Carell on The Big Short, like pretty well big. Like every person is like, do not buy this. And I'm like, why would we know that is my question, unless they wanted us to know that. But how would Elon? Like, Elon either has to know it or he's so distracted he doesn't know, right?
The problem with like a meme like these meme stocks is like it's a wash, right? Because you say that and your words could be the words coming out of a guy that then says, and you have to buy it.
Yeah.
The market makers are telling you you shouldn't, which means you should. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because everything's poisoned. I ended up calling last week's visual radio like confusing data with information, right? And like that's just like everyone thinks everything is a tell or whatever, because no one actually goes back and looks at like how their actions affected the outcomes. Like, we just look at the outcome and we work our way backwards and we go, well, and it's all boiled down. And so like Elon Musk has made all the right decisions because he's the richest man, period. Right. And we have to carry all of those thoughts forward. It's like, what? So now every time Elon Musk is making a decision, people have to pretend like it's a decision that warrants consideration. Right. It's the same thing that happened with politicians in my time and stuff. And any sort of person with power. It's like, well, they got power and we assume that they got the power through like some sort of intelligence.
I know.
Like
listen. This is all right. I want you, and I want the audience, and I want I want the captain, and I want the audience to watch the movie Boiler Room. The reason I bring all this up is because this is what he is doing, but on a scale of the Mag 7. No, you gotta watch it, because all it is.
No, I will.
You've ripped all the rules away, right? So you're gonna keep seeing mergers. You're gonna keep. Elon Musk, in essence, runs shell companies, but he'll do just the bare minimum to make the company profitable in one segment. But then, because he's so rich, he can leverage every other part of his business to fund like Grok AI or all these things that are not profitable. But like, he's the only one that could do it, and no one else would be able to take these type of risks because they don't believe that he could pay out on it. But the reality is, he's not paying for it. You are. We are. The people that put money passively into the fund, which is 57% of people in retirement
Elon
funds.
Musk isn't taking risk. It's not risk when it's other people's money.
It's not risk for him.
Right?
That's my point.
Yes.
But Boiler Room
like,
breaks this down. Like, if the movie Boiler Room, they're constantly taking companies and shell games and merging them and stripping it down. It's the same thing that happens with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas in, what is it? Not The Wolf of Wall Street, but you know what? Money Never Sleeps.
Wall Street.
Hey, Money Never...
You know what
Wall
I love?
Street. Yeah.
Like, here's a great thing. Up in the right corner, there's a link to Mr. Green's silver screen critique of Wall Street.
Check it
Maybe
out.
if enough people watch that, we'll bring Mr. Green's silver screen back and do did one listener really liked that I messed it up the exact way I did like 40 episodes ago.
Speaking of silver screens, Captain.
Critique. But no, like, well, maybe we'll do a silver screen critique of Boiler Room if enough people watch. Like right now, it doesn't. Like Mr. Green's silver screen critique died because it was doing slightly better than our other stuff. But we're like, what are we going to watch movies all the time like dumb assholes on the internet, right?
Yeah, like it comes back when it needs to. But speaking of silver screen mics, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day coming out. I think I saw an article about it, about it being like it's going to make people question Christianity. And I think you believe, you're like, is this propaganda? Because it feels like it.
Well, I think the thing I said last week was, or who knows, it was like it. If I was the kind of guy that didn't believe in coincidence, I'd go, huh, right? And there was just like a bunch of like, it seems to me that like people from the reviews I've heard, people have kind of been like, yeah, it seems like it's just a like mediocre movie, and like all of the marketing was like somehow like clinging on to this. Now, as we did a second ago, click on the top right corner. I don't remember the name of the episode, but Mr. Green almost went to jail. But yeah, I think
I don't remember the episode either.
I just don't think these things are accidents, and I'll bring it up again because the short didn't quite. I don't know if I made the short or whatever, but no, man, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but because conspiracies are the law, conspiracies aren't a theory, right? Like two or more people are constantly doing bullshit together, right? Like
yes,
but the definition of a conspiracy, but like. I just look at these coincidences. Like I said last week, it's weird to say like Joe Rogan just was there at the right time for like podcasting and stuff. And also, there's just a USC fight at the White House, by the way.
Sorry, UFC, also. UFC, not USC.
I wish there was a UFC fight. Have you? No.
Yeah, no, what does that look like over there? There's like, it's like a dome. It's kind of cheesy looking. It's almost like Idiocracy,
not there yet.
The movie.
It's not all like. It's not. It's very weird.
Can I just say that like, if there's a short that comes on a podcast of visual radio in the future, you should probably do the bit from Idiocracy where he's fighting Not Sure, aka Owen Wilson, and the dude's out on the front lawn. The president's in the pit being like, yeah!
Dude, there's an episode from like, it's what's so funny, we're just like too far ahead of shit, right? One of the episodes back when we're like 2D animated, and I have a photo of like a UFC, the front lawn of like the White House in Idiocracy. I'm like, yeah, like this weird shit, but like it's so odd. It's just odd. I don't know, but Greenie, I'm so happy I'm in the future now, and I don't have to deal with what seems like was a terrible fucking time. But like, it would be funny.
But we ended
if,
up
like,
with the Nothing Corp, Mike.
So
Captain. We ended up with the Nothing Corp, which isn't better.
I know. I mean,
do you know what clip I saw the other day that I thought really resonated with me? And I
mean, why'd you park so far away?
Listen, I really wanted to get this bit out so that I had time to talk about it. But I was watching The Watchmen, just the beginning of it, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, the comedian, jumps off the top. Yeah, the movie. And they're trying to calm this like crowd down, and he opens fires on the crowd and starts killing people, and he's like, well, this is the one way to do it. And the guy's like, no, what have we become? What happened to us? And the American dream. And he looks back and he's like, what are you talking about, brother? We achieved it. And then just starts shooting people again. And you're like, you know, at the time when that movie was playing, I didn't quite understand it. But I think if we all watched it now, we would.
Alan Moore wrote the comic book 30 years before that. but like, Mike, it's one of these things we'll get into it one of these days, man.
See,
but like, this all goes back to Ronald Reagan. Greenie, you talked to me about my time, and it's very odd because the time I came from was actually this like weird bullshit time where everyone pretended like stuff was being good because they sold the farm in the 1980s. And they tried to push back in the 1990s, but then they manufactured 9/11, and since then,
which I feel bullshit. Like
Greedy, that's what I remember. But again, I went through timey-wimey bullshit. I'm not everything.
Where were you?
Historical account.
Where were you on that September
when
day?
They built that land?
To be fair, that was still a terrible tragedy, and you know it's sad it happened. Even sadder knowing
it's
that,
even
that
sadder
it was
like
avoidable.
The things that have been done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. It just seems like, I don't know, man. Like, and then like,
speaking of war, Mike, what about this Iran war again? What do you think about that, Captain? War, you know, the Hormuz,
so funny.
Strait of Hormuz or something. Isn't it just a toll booth war? It's a toll fee. Like they're just charging money at the.
I mean, what happened was, and this is like the same reason we were in Iraq, is because like Donald Trump thought that like he could like just bully some people, and then like they didn't agree with him right away. And he's like, no, but everyone agrees with me right away all the time. And they're like, no. And he's like, no, but I bombed you. And they were like, yeah, I know, but we're gonna bomb. No, I'll bomb you more. Like, yeah, no, you can bomb us more, and then we're gonna try and bomb you more. He's like, no. Don't you? I'm gonna wipe you off the face of the planet. Yeah, dude, we know that. Yeah, let's go. He's like, no, but I'm gonna really fight you guys. And they're like, yeah, let's fight if that's what you want to do. Like, yeah, you're not gonna even believe how fucking much I'm gonna fight you. And they're like, yeah, okay. He's like, I'm serious. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
that's probably how it's going. They're like, it's worth it. We'll end civilization to make sure this doesn't happen. Is what you're saying?
Like, what I'm saying is that, like, you know, whatever 10 years ago, whatever, 50,000 and 10 years ago, Greenie, like, you know, Obama did the Iran deal, and that was, you know, if you look at like the, I don't know, role of like whatever the fuck we want to call what the hell's happening, you know, the conservatism of America, right? Like, the, you know, birtherism on Obama was a big thing, right? But the Iran deal, they were like, he was just shipping money to Iran. Here's billions of pallets of dollars to this terrorism because he's a Muslim or whatever, right? And then Benghazi, and you look at like this thing they built up, right? But obviously, Donald Trump has spent so much more money on Iran now than Obama ever did then. And all of the proposed deals would give them way more money than Obama ever gave them, right? Like, so many more people have been killed in all of these attacks than died in Benghazi. Like, none of it doesn't matter. They're just saying shit. And no one cares. Everyone, Mike, we can't have last week's episode again where I'm just like, the problem is that everyone is a fucking lying pussy. Everyone you know, your friends, your family, everyone. They're a lying fucking pussy. They're a pussy and they're lying about it. They're coming up with reasons to be a fucking pussy, and they're trying to be like, no, it's something else. Well, actually, man, it was actually a real brave risk of me to fire all those people. It's like, really, it sounds like you were a fucking pussy that couldn't handle like the like responsibility of what you had like managed your company into. Right?
Yeah, totally. On a lighter note, I do have a joke.
This is worse than last.
A political joke.
Okay.
If you'd like to hear it.
Okay.
So what's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican, Captain?
What?
One feels a little bit guilty about stealing your money.
Okay.
Yep. I guess not funny. All right. I'll go back to the drawing board, you son of a bitch.
It's one of those things where, like, I don't know, fucking hilarious 40 years ago, right? Like, do you know what I mean?
Not anymore, because they keep stealing it.
It's one of those things where, like, no, like, let's say all politicians are equally monetarily corrupt.
Well, didn't they just prove that they are?
Let's just say it. Fuck it. I'm like, I don't care. Let's say Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama have stolen as much money as whoever the Speaker of the House is now, that little bitch. What's his name? He seems like a fake man. They made him up. Anyone ever seen Futurama where they have those politicians and they're just like clones of each other? They look like that guy in there. There's Joe Johnson and John Joseph or whatever. Like, this is the fucking same shit.
They look made up. They don't look real. They do all look like cucks. I'm sorry. They look like cucks, man. They all look like guys that jerk off in corners while somebody else fucks their wife. That's what they look like. Do they not? Do they not look like that? Do they not look like guys that jerk off in corners while other people fuck their wives? That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. They all look like they were standing in the corner at the high school dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's fine. I didn't even go. So I'm
This is what happens, man. Revenge of the Nerds just never stopped. Like that was the joke, right? Like, I mean, the nerds won, and they're making everybody pay.
Well, Mike, that's not Mike. That's bullshit. Donald Trump's not a nerd.
Yeah, you're right. He's not a nerd.
Elon Musk isn't a nerd.
Well, I guess if the nerds are controlling
Mark Zuckerberg
him,
isn't a nerd. Mark Zuckerberg didn't do any of it.
Mark Zuckerberg knows karate, bro.
He just sucks.
He
was just like, when everyone else was like, hey, we're being friends building a thing, he was like, I'm going to steal it from you. Like, do you know what I mean? And that was it.
And I don't want to give Mark Zuckerberg any credit, but I love the fact that he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and like he was trying to like pump his brand.
You do love it because you love the Joe Rogan podcast and you love when anyone goes to visit your buddy Joe. Mr. Green, Mike,
first off, you're about to attack me. I was going to make something funny.
Joe Rogan, you're not. What's his name? What's his buddy's name? Kevin? What's the guy? There's a guy there.
I don't know. You're ruining
Kevin.
My joke.
Kevin,
your joke,
Kevin.
This better be a good joke.
Imagine this. There's more shot variety in our show than there is in the Joe Rogan experience. So I could very much get a Mr. Green model that would fit into the two different shots you guys have. So Mr. Green should go on the Joe Rogan experience as an animated character.
I agree.
I could do it. I could make it fucking happen.
Let's do it.
Come on, Kevin.
Also, can I fight him?
Kevin.
Can Mr. Green fight him and win? I mean, I could take Joe Rogan in real life,
Mike,
but like Mr. Green could.
No, you're gonna have a conversation with your buddy Joe Rogan. Oh my God, you guys could break down the UFC fight. You paid for the pay-per-view. Man, how much money is everyone making off of this stuff? This is great. I can't find a job, but anyway.
Anyways, what I wanted to say is that so Mark Zuckerberg got real into like UFC fighting to the point where like I guess because Joe Rogan's hooked up, had him like stand next to a bunch of like UFC fighters for a UFC fighter coming out to, and he was like going to dap him, and the dude didn't dap him at all, and it was just the most awkward exchange between individuals, and he looked so awkward, and I loved it. I was like, yes.
Does no one remember anything? Okay? Does no one remember anything? New segment, repeating segment. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg were supposed to have
they were supposed to fight in Rome.
UFC fight on the back of a boat or something. Remember, one of them was fighting on the back of a boat. They both had trainers. They were going to do it. This was back. This is what there was this push to make every billionaire cool. Right? They were all fucking.
That's what they were doing. They were leading up to this.
Everyone sucked it up. You fucking pussy ass motherfuckers licked it up. Y'all looked at you and
oh my God, licking your chops.
Cool. Like, oh my God.
You said this is the easiest journalism I've ever had to do, and I'm going to get so much money.
If I like Mark Zuckerberg enough, I'll be rich like Mark. You fucking morons. God damn it. God damn it, Mike. Greedy? Why that was so dumb, and why are we still walking?
We're so dumb.
Greeny, I'm sorry, Greeny. I don't know what happened there. Sometimes you have a concussion and you forget about the lore of our lives. I call it the lore. I'm just reminding you of our lives, but sometimes I like to be poetic and talk about our lives like they're a TV show. And I'm like, oh man, sometimes you don't forget what happened in the episodes and the lore and stuff, right? And sometimes my brain goes timey-wimey weird, and I yell things that neither the character Captain Tracy nor anyone involved in him believes or say in a way that is actionable by anyone else.
Captain.
Yes.
What do you want from IHOP? Like I've been asking you for your order for like 5 minutes, and you went on a whole rant. And we're at the drive-through window at IHOP. What do you want?
Greeny, this is ridiculous. You're the one that's having an illusion. We've obviously been walking the whole time. Like, that'd be crazy for all of us. There's no drive-through at the I. Mike, are you Greeny? Are you?
Who is Mike? Who is Mike, Captain? You're Greeny, having an episode. Greeny, we're at the IHOP drive-through.
Green, we're both having heat stroke. This has been a very long walk. From the moonshine.
Maybe there's water in the mystery box, Captain.
Which we landed on Brenner 7, and now we're about to be in the town. I'm going to go into the saloon because I need to go find out what happened with Grasshopper and the holographic cigarette, a thread that has not been played out in my way at all. Maybe it happened in a dream for you. So I'm going to go do that.
Okay.
And you need to just deliver this bot. There's a robot sheriff. Spoiler alert for people whose first episode this. He's a robot.
I think I had a dream about a robot sheriff the other day.
Greeny. Keep your robo,
I think there was a
first of all, keep your robosexuality in check, but also keep your robo racism in check, and just say, "Hey, Mr. Sheriff, I have this mystery box from you from the Nothing Corporation. Thank you for your service.
What about my robo stereotypes in check?"
Yeah, whatever sort of robo problems you have, right? You just tell the sheriff that. Just give the sheriff the bot. Greedy,
what if he invokes cowboy law? What if he invokes cowboy law?
If someone was watching the last 24 weeks of our lives, they might think that we've never delivered a mystery box. But we have successfully completed more missions than anyone else this cycle. So it's mostly, who knows why we're right now having trouble explaining it to each other. Mostly because we just do it so successfully and don't talk about it.
Well, I told you that you shouldn't have taken this mission because mystery boxes have been cursed ever since Mario Kart 64. I've been telling you that for a long time.
Greeny, when you look at the odds on a mystery box, right? Like, all deliveries are gambling, right? Some people are saying, "Yo, if you take this route, deliver this stuff, the tips are better." But it's just it's a crapshoot, right? So why not roll the dice? We'll deliver the mystery box. Once we get back to the Nothing Corporation, we'll get an email that will tell us what the context of the mystery box were. We just need to take that email up to the 23rd floor, hand it into the robot. They'll do the calculations and tell us how much of our travel time was covered by mission and how much of the residuals we're going to be able to get over the next 3 months.
Right. And that,
the way the economy works. Like, why do I have to explain the economy to you? It's weird.
I'm going to be honest. It seems nuanced, but somewhat easy yet difficult. It seems like it could be easy.
You know what, Green? It walks that line where you feel like maybe you could, but there's no chance.
Yeah.
There's a little glimmer of hope at the end. There's a little. You ever seen that?
Like blowjobs after being married. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Greeny, you know how you have all those old stuff that you watch. You ever see the old Robin Williams bit where he's talking about golfing, and he's like. He talks about how terrible golfing is. We're going to put a fucking lake in your way in a desert and all this bullshit. And you're going to have to swing a bunch of times. But at the end, we're going to put a little flag so you have some hope. There's a little flag. That's why, like, the economy is. Oh,
Yes.
there's a little flag over there. Just give me a little hope, and then we'll throw a fucking river in the way.
Is AI the little flag that the CEOs have been blaming that led us
Well,
to
no,
this
the little. I
moment?
mean, I think the little flag these days is probably everyone's Instagram feed, where like someone's pretending like they're having a good time.
Yeah,
And someone's like, "Oh my
didn't I
god,
have to deliver a
imagine
box, Captain?
Greeny." I thought you were Greeny. Greeny, you're right. I just thought we were closer. This is so far away. This is crazy.
It doesn't help
Um,
that there's nothing out here except, you know.
there is nothing out there. It's just a sky with some stars. There's no reason for us to keep doing it. Greeny, you go deal with the sheriff. I'm gonna hit the thing.
All right, off to see the
All right.
sheriff. All right, looking for a sheriff that is a robot. Where on earth do I find that in a town like this?
There ain't no sheriff around these parts, sir. But why would you be looking for such a man?
You look like a guy who could fetch my car. Do you happen to know where the sheriff is, sir?
Well, the sheriff rode out into the Badlands nigh on a fortnight ago.
I'm starting to get the vibes that you're the sheriff.
Sir, I am the nothing council marshal of these territories, and I will be addressed as such.
You're a very strange robot. I just gotta tell you, it seems like maybe you're one of those LLM models that hallucinate and don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I got a mystery
Well,
box
partner,
for you.
let me tell you something my grandpappy used to say.
All right, what is it?
Sometimes.
Wait, how'd you have a grandpappy? You're a machine.
Sometimes, sir, if you're going to be like this, we got ourselves 2 empty cells right over there for the likes of you. But maybe you're here for something more simple than this.
Listen, I might be, depending on the way this goes. Listen. We don't have to go invoking cowboy law or anything. I had a dream that this went a lot different, but
let me
you don't even have arms. I'm pretty sure I would win.
I'd like to apologize. We've been having a rough time here in Brenner 7. We used to be what you used to call them an amusement planet. We ain't been having quite the tourism we've been having. So I've been a little upset, sir. Let me apologize to you. What can I, the marshal, do for you?
I believe you forgot to say sir. But yes, go on.
Son of a bitch, I'll kill you.
Come on, man. Chill out. Chill. I have no idea where that gunshots came from because you don't have arms, but you got some turrets. Listen, I came here.
Laser eyes.
I came here to drop off this
JJ
Abrams mystery box to you. That's all I know.
Leave it. No, as you mentioned,
you weren't expecting it? I'm delivering a package you weren't expecting? Who's it for?
Well, I don't know. What's in it?
Oh, I wish I could tell you. I have no fucking clue what's in this box, and I'm not allowed to look. Only the recipient of the package can look, and I definitely can't be around when you open your mail, because if it's something nice, I might be inclined to invoke cowboy law and take it.
Sir, I'd like to see you invoke cowboy law and try, but that was a test. If you had said you were trying to open the box, I would have arrested you for box tampering.
Oh, if I've ever been in trouble, I've been in trouble a lot for box tampering, if you know what I'm saying. But today is not one of those days.
I don't. I'm a robot with
But
I couldn't even possibly comprehend the idea.
What's in the box?
I guess since I got your joke, I did comprehend what you're saying. Listen, I've taken a look at my wall socket or two in my day. If you know what I mean.
Sadly, I
charged my cord.
Sadly, I do know what you mean. I feel like I might be part robot, I don't know. The captain says I'm not.
I feel like that despite that you are 100% an alien and I am 100% a robot, that we've found ourselves some common ground here in our love of differently shaped things, and things that can go into those types of things.
It seems we have.
Sir.
But,
We found, I'm glad that this ended with an amount of mutual respect and a level of nonviolence that we enjoy here on Brenner 7. Feel free to come back here. I'm a little worried. Some of our residents have been going a bit crazy lately, and I don't know if there would ever be any heroes to come around and help us with that.
yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm going to go.
All right, well, I guess that your job, you did complete your job here, which was to just deliver this by. Thank you for setting the box on the table in there so that I didn't have to pick it up myself. And, the mighty fine job. I'll be giving you a number of stars once you leave.
Listen, it's going to sound like that I'm walking away. And that's because I am. You can keep talking if you want, but I'm not going to be here for it. Okay, later, bye!
Well, Granny, I think that was
Dude,
pretty
never
successful
again.
mission.
I never want to come to this planet again.
Granny, we're never coming back here, okay? There's a 0% chance we're coming back to this place.
They're never coming back. That's what Mr. Green thinks. I am...
Well, yeah, boss. He said it right out loud. Of course, they don't think they're coming back, but they don't know about your smart plan, boss.
First off,
boss,
Skulk, never interrupt my planned narration again. I've completely lost thought. I don't even know what the plan was anymore. Either way, they will be back.
Well, boy, he's gonna be one of the best plans anyone's ever thought of, boss.
You're really a suck up today. You know that, Skulk?